Now that we got the bad news out of the way here, let's jump into our topic of the show here. Gamescom 2020 happened this past weekend. We had opening night live, and basically this entire weekend has been attributed to Gamescom news and all sorts of details on games and whatnot. What we're going to do is, first off, we're going to actually talk about opening night live and go through all the announcements that happened, because I actually haven't seen the whole thing. I just saw clips of it.
Okay.
So there are some games on this list I don't even know about.
Yep.
And then,
well, I did watch it, so I'll cover you.
Good. And then we're going to ask, we have a quick brief discussion about Gamescom and just talk about the conventions. We've talked about it a little bit before, but like, does this help? What happened this year? Does it help Gamescom become the new E3? Is it taking some steam away from E3? We're going to talk about that after this, but first let's jump into some of the opening nights here. I'm reading from an article posted up by Felicia Miranda over at IGN.com. Actually, I'll flip over the web here because I'll just be bouncing back and forth between all the videos and stuff that were announced here. So let's jump right in here and let's dig in here. So, of course, number one, they revealed the Call of Duty Black Ops War trailer. They had a new trailer that was more or less the extended trailer of the Perseus briefing cinematic, where all the characters you know and love from the game are sitting there talking. Ronald Reagan shows up in his commando outfit, apparently, according to Seth.
The Reaganator.
Oh, that's a good name. That's
really there you go. I can't take credit for that. I've seen it somewhere before. But
next one here, let me see. Let me put it on mute there. And oh, of course, we're going to get ads. The next video, whenever it comes up here in 15 seconds,
hashtag not sponsored.
Hashtag not sponsored at all. But the next game that got announced here is Unknown 9 Awakening. It was announced in a cinematic trailer. Reflector Entertainment revealed its current project, Unknown 9 Awakening, with a new cinematic trailer. We see a young girl by the name of Haruna as she discovers some new abilities. This was I will say, watching this trailer now, this was a pretty cool trailer. I liked this game. It was a cinematic, of course. So, show me the gameplay. But what did you think about this trailer?
I think this is one of the most interesting looking games from Opening Night Live. It's again, it's a cinematic, so it's it is hard for me to say that I get hyped for games based solely on cinematic trailers, especially games like this, which seem to be a whole new idea. Like, what is this? Is this a third person? Is this is this Eco, or is this Call of Duty? Right? Like, we don't really know, so it's hard to tell. But the vibe that I'm getting is something along the lines of like maybe like an Eco or some kind of like third person type of puzzle solver. You're using this time jump mechanic. Maybe even a little Remember Me, if you remember that original Don't Nod game.
Okay.
Like that was more about memory altering, but like I could see, time altering to be a part of it. So it looks really interesting. I think this sounds like a really cool game. I'm a sucker for time travel stories. I loved Quantum Break. I think time travels, it's such a, like, you can go for such crazy shenanigans with time travel, or it could be really bad. There's a spectrum of time travel, right? You can be Back to the Future, or you can be Looper. There's two ways this can go. But I'm very intrigued and excited by this. But I am going to have to put my show me the gameplay verdict on this, because it's just, you can come to me and show me a cinematic trailer for Call of Duty. I'm like, all right, cool. Yep. Reagan's sending us on a mission. Like, all right, cool. It's going to be the same. Aim down sights, kill the bad guys in the shooting gallery. Like, I can get hyped without seeing gameplay per se. But this is a game I want to see more, but I need to see more before I can tell you, right?
I'm with you 100% there on that one as well. Next game up on the list here, Doom Eternal. They teased it all month here, but the Ancient Ones DLC was finally revealed here for Doom Eternal. Looks cool. Did you beat Doom Eternal, Seth?
I never even played Doom Eternal. I bought it on a PC when it first came out. Could not get the thing to run on my PC. Ended up doing a Steam return, and at that point I was kind of like, all right, I'm just going to wait for it to go on sale, and then surprise, never bought it. So
I just don't. I to put it bluntly, I forgot that I periodically forget that Doom Eternal came out this year.
Yeah,
and that's like read into that how you will. The game is fun. I loved the game. Like I did a review on the game, for God's sake. But I don't know, some of the problems I had with it were just that, people asked, hey, should I get this? Should I play this game here? If I would tell people, play the first Doom, the 2016 version of Doom first, and then jump into Eternal. I think it's very fast paced. It's very action oriented. It's great. But I think if you're a new person coming into that franchise to try and play that game, you're going to be very disoriented and you're going to not feel like you won't be able to keep up. Like, it is fast. It is like 2 or 3 times faster than the original Doom from 2016. And it could really throw you for a loop if you're not careful. And I think that for new people that I want to jump in, I want to play this game, I think it could be really confusing for them. And so maybe that's the reason that I love the game, love the experience. It is the benchmark test whenever I got new hardware to put on my computer. But it was a great game. It didn't hit that impact that I wanted it to hit this year.
Yeah.
I think to a certain extent it was too fast. And I think that, just for me, I think that kind of will scare away some new people to the game.
Yeah. One thing that really turned me off about it was, 2016 Doom was all about speed of movement throughout the battlefield and positioning yourself to kill the most demons you can. Whereas I got the impression that Doom Eternal was more about knowing how to counter the specific demons, right? Like, they got into this whole, shoot the gun off the back, right? Or, if it, with the cacodemons, shoot the missiles into their mouth when their, mouth is open. And they kind of added this, puzzle platformer kind of approach to it. And I think that kind of took it a step too far. What I really wanted was just, more Doom 2016 with maybe some more insane shenanigans. But they kind of went a little too far. And that's when I was like, well, I've got to play this with a keyboard and mouse because I'm having a hard time.
Yeah.
Even doing it with keyboard and mouse, I'm having a hard time shooting those guns off. And then, it just, I don't know. I think it was one of those that you got a little too creative. And
to some extent, I agree with you there. I think they went a little too bold, tried to do everything better when I don't think, personally, they really had to. Maybe do some small tweaks to the combat. I was fine with the platforming stuff. That actually helped out kind of divvy up from your action set pieces to actually navigating in puzzles within the environment. I think that the combat is very, very fast, and if you haven't played the first one, it's going to be hard to keep up, and it could turn you off to the entire franchise, which is a shame because that franchise is great.
Play Doom 2016 though if you haven't.
Yeah,
masterpiece.
Get it on the cheap. Next up here, this is going to be 100% you, Seth. So wasn't expecting BioWare to show up, but BioWare showed up, and they talked about a game that is not going to be coming out for a long time here. Dragon Age 4, they had a kind of dev video talking about what they're doing with Dragon Age and some of concept art. Here, I've got the video reel if you're watching via video here.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts when this got revealed?
It's a whole lot of nothing. I think that EA is really good at showing up with this kind of stuff, and they spend a lot of time talking about how much passion and how much love people are pouring into their stuff. So my approach has always been, there's not a creator alive who doesn't pour their passion and love into what they make, right? So I appreciate that they made this awesome collection of desktop wallpapers for us, and that they showed us concept art, which concept means that these are ideas for what they want it to look like, not necessarily what it's going to look like, right? Mm-hmm. And here they're showing some represents gameplay and development environment renders that they've been talking about. But man, there was a line in here, and I cracked a joke, and I felt really bad cracking the joke. But my girlfriend is also super fan for Mass Effect, and we were expecting Mass Effect Remaster to be announced during this segment, and when they showed the wallpaper gallery of Dragon Age, we got even more pissed. But they said, someone was like, it's amazing to think that we went from a team of 35 to now over 350 people. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of embarrassing when the team of 35 made better games than the team of 350.
Oh,
and we were like, oh man, Seth, spicy. But I mean, at this point,
Ouch.
I just, BioWare is gonna have to show up, and they're gonna, like, BioWare is 343. They have got to show up, and they have got to prove, because as much as they brag about their 2014 Game of the Year award, they won by default because nothing came out that year. Go look at their competition. It was literally, please chat, please just let me make this joke. Let me make this spicy joke. It was a Biden, right? Like, it just showed up and won, hopefully. But it just showed up and won because the other options were just that bad. But I digress. This is not a political podcast. I saw that joke. I had to go for it, right?
I got you.
But I want BioWare to succeed. I really want them to. I want them to come back. I want them to be the powerhouse that they once were of fantastic role-playing experiences. And they've been seduced by the open world game. They've been seduced by post-purchase monetization, and it has caused the quality of their games to really go down.
I just think that BioWare right now, their studios as a whole is kind of in a... honestly, for anything, I would be fine with just them going dark. I think that with the kind of flop that Anthem was and the restructuring that game is going to have to undergo for them to get back on, put that back into the limelight, the fact that Mass Effect Andromeda didn't really hit the way they wanted to, and the fact that we've known for a year or two now that, hey, Dragon Age 4 is coming, but we also know that it is extremely early in development. They have nothing to show right now, and I think that was just them. You know, usually when I see stuff like that, when you have those developer videos, it's my way of thinking like, okay, you don't have anything to show right now, but either you wanted to show something to stay in the zeitgeist of consumers, or you have some upper level executive saying, we need you to show us something. I don't care what it is, just put something on a video reel and put it out there.
And that's what they did. That's what they did. And that's what it looks like. That's what it feels like. If it smells like it, if it looks like it, it's, that's what it is. So it's whatever. They're making a Dragon Age game, just like they're fixing Anthem. We'll see when they'll do it.
It'll be a while. I'll tell you that. Spoiler. Next announcement here. I watched this, and it was one of the weirdest announcements. Surgeon Simulator 2 got announced, and it's out and available now. But the way they announced it was that for some reason they had Doc Brown, aka Christopher Lloyd.
No. Okay, I've got to jump. I got to give you the play-by-play.
Okay, go ahead.
So first off, they start with the dun 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 dun, the music. They have the flames coming in, and I am like, because the only time Back to the Future has ever been given any video game love was with the Telltale series, which was pretty good, but it was a Telltale game. It was a pre-Walking Dead Telltale game, so it was even more Telltale.
Yeah.
But I was like, like it was Caveman SpongeBob. And then Doc Brown comes on, and I'm like, oh, they're doing it. They're making a game. And to see it become Surgeon Simulator, man, let me talk about just the vacuum that removed all the excitement from the room. Yeah. So just gonna let you know, I got a stream pause. Looks like you minimized your app or something. But okay, cool. But yeah, it's whatever, man. Surgeon Simulator, weird way to promote it.
I just don't. Why would you do it that way? I don't know. Like, what was Doc doing?
But it either isn't available or can't be.
I'm so sorry.
Is that Alexa?
Google has thought I was talking about something. So,
but no, I just don't like. It didn't make any sense. Yeah, announcement brought to us by none other than Doc Brown himself. Developer Bosses Studios released Surgeon Simulator 2. It's available in the Epic Games Store right now. Next up, again, in one of the weirder transitions that Jeff Keighley made. Yeah, a new game, Bridge Constructor, The Walking Dead, got announced. Sure, I don't... The trailer for this game was real weird. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. It didn't... Like, it's a guy... And he runs into a building, and he's like looking around. You're like, what the hell is he doing? He goes in, he finds this nice little corner. Then for some reason, he pulls out a computer and headphones and starts playing a bridge simulator game in a zombie apocalypse. Like, I don't know.
You got to remember, this is the guy that did the Schick Hydrobot. This is the guy that did, Jeff Keighley is such a unique and amazing guy, and he's like 50% hype man, 50% dad. And so I think this is when you get a little bit more dad than hype man, but you still got the hype energy. So like he's obviously trying to hype us up for something. And I remember I was in Twitch chat when all this was going down, so people were like, OMG, DayZ 2, there were, people spamming Days Gone, that kind of stuff, right? Like that was people just they're looking for this, and then it flips around here, and I'll say Bridge Constructor Portal did really well, so it makes sense that they would go for the license approach. But what a weird license, dude, and what a weird way to showcase that license. It was weird.
It was very weird. Sam & Max reboot, next announcement coming to VR.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of Sam & Max, so
yeah,
set me up here. The next announcement here, very, very awesome. And you were in Twitch chat, so you have to tell me how this went off. But yeah. I'm always happy to see this. If you remember the animated story beats that World of Warcraft used to do when I think the last expansion came out, where they're doing it again. They had a new kind of animated story trailer for animated short. There we go. That's the word I was thinking of. Getting you ready for Shadowlands expansion, which they announced the date. It is October 27th when World of Warcraft Shadowlands is going to come out. But these are always awesome. I love watching these. I need to watch this. I saw it, but I didn't hear it. What did you think of it, Seth?
Okay, so there's a couple of things you said I've got to break down. You have to understand, first off, that Twitch chat are people who are generally under 30, and the people that are playing World of Warcraft still are over 30. So immediately you have to understand that Twitch chat was like sleep emotes for days, right? This is not the crowd for that. Me personally, I love Arthas. I think Arthas was their best storyline. Well, yes, I think Arthas was their best storyline. I think that anything to do with Arthas is instantly going to draw me in. And this cinematic is basically Uther, which was like Arthas's like right-hand man. Like he is the Han Solo to Arthas's Lando, right? Like he is the companion through thick and thin, even though he gets betrayed by him several times. And so this is kind of his story about like what happens after he dies. I think it's so cool to see him, talking about this. You're getting a glimpse into this whole like angel situation. Like how does the Warcraft universe deal with the afterlife? I think Shadowlands is a really cool expansion. This was maybe not the right crowd for that, especially for the amount of time they gave this. I think they gave it around 15 minutes between the animated short and then show off. Yeah, it was a lot of time they put in on this. And so it kind of felt like they were giving it a lot of extra time. This felt more like a BlizzCon thing. But again, BlizzCon's not happening. So and of course, the big thing from this was the date for the expansion, right? I think it's October 27th. That's the news. That's what everybody wanted. They got that from the 2-minute trailer. It's just then they went into this 12-minute animated short, and that kind of, I think, came off as a little too much. But
I think the reason for this trailer and why it was at Gamescom is because I do know that it may not be as impactful in the US now. I think it's to some extent it is, because I know Final Fantasy XIV is taking up a lot of airspace for MMO players, but overseas, I know World of Warcraft in the European market especially is pretty big. It's still very large. There are still a lot of people playing it. And I think that was one of the main reasons that we got some type of World of Warcraft announcement at Gamescom.
Yeah. And I think this is great. Also, where is Overwatch 2? That is what I want. Yes, Shadowlands is happening. Great. Arthas, you're bringing everyone back to life because you've killed everyone, so that's great.
It's ready when it's ready. I don't know.
Whatever, man. No, this is not that Blizzard anymore. This is the Blizzard where we got to ship this fiscal year. All right. Give me the date. Anyways, I'm done. Sorry, I feel like I'm very spicy today. I feel the spice, man.
No.
It's been a rough... Listen, I don't know if it was this recording or the other one. I'm not kidding, man. I was trying to think. I was like, how could I describe to a gamer what 2020 is like? It's when your left Joy-Con starts drifting, right? Like it is truly your heart just and you know it's here to stay. You know it's not going anywhere. And I was like, man, what a left Joy-Con drift of a year we're having. And
it just gets worse and worse and worse.
It just keeps getting worse and worse. Anyways, let's continue on.
Going through here, got a couple of games we can easily recap. Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormground got revealed. Sorry. Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time flashback tapes revealed. It says for Crash fans that love a punishing platformer, hidden levels with ramped up difficulty called flashback tapes have been revealed for Crash Bandicoot 4. A new Outriders cinematic trailer got revealed, that game is low-key not been talked about a lot, but I am actually really excited about that game. I've seen a lot of I've watched all of the kind of monthly dev diaries that they've been giving, kind of breaking the game down. And I kid you not, have you seen them, Seth?
I've been following this game. I think if this game hits that launch window, like that first 2 weeks of the new next gen, I think this game will do really well and could potentially be one of the top sellers because people want to play something next gen when they get the box, right? And I think PlayStation 5 is fine with Spider-Man Morales as long as they hit that, launch window like they've kind of been hinting at, but still haven't really confirmed. Yep. Xbox, on the other hand, there's going to be a ton of people buying Series X's. At this point, there's no Halo there. I could see this game getting a little bit of a cult following, kind of having a Crackdown 2 situation where people are getting it just because... Well, because remember, a lot of people bought that just to get the Halo demo, and they were like, actually, this is a pretty cool game. So, a lot of people are going to buy this just because it's the only option. They're like, oh, this is actually pretty neat, because it does look like a pretty decent third-person, class-based co-op shooter. Yeah. So, we'll see.
It looks really cool. I'm excited to play that. Necromunda Underhive Wars trailer got announced. What is this game? I don't have a trailer for this.
I honestly do not remember what this game is. I think this was shown very briefly, and I don't remember anything about it, so I apologize.
Well, the next game we can talk about here does have a trailer. Teardown gameplay trailer was revealed. Tuxedo Labs Teardown got a new gameplay trailer showing off how players can work together in destructible environments to pull off the perfect heist. I swear I thought this was Minecraft, is this the 4K ray tracing Minecraft? And
it looks like it, doesn't it? It looks a lot like Minecraft. It's more of that voxel, approach to it. So it's not blocky like Minecraft. You're not moving in this. And I say blocky, like it is blocky from an art design, but you can see he fell down. That character just fell down if you're watching the footage there. But it's not like you're jumping up one block at a time, right? It's just an art style. I think this is really interesting. I want to see what the loop is on this because I think a heist game is probably one of the coolest sounding games I can think of. You think about that's kind of what Dishonored is a heist game, right? It is each mission's a heist, and stealth games are really great when they are heisty. I even joke with my friends and say all the Star Wars spinoffs are heist movies. Rogue One and Han Solo, they were both heist films. So it's really interesting to see this game in action because it seems like it's going to be a lot of really experimental gameplay, right? You can break a wall and creates a new path, but also it looks like a really cool speed running kind of thing. I could see a speed running community getting around it, trying to find the optimized route. Okay. Try and get that, but yeah, I'm excited to see that. Hope that is it's coming soon, September 8th. That would be an awesome Game Pass game, by the way. Microsoft, call them up, get them going.
That would be good. You're right.
That'd be a great Game Pass game.
A game that I am excited for.
I'm sorry. That is not September the 8th. That was that Necromunda. This one does not have a date, so I apologize.
A game that I'm excited for is this Little Nightmares 2. They had a gameplay trailer that got revealed. I remember one of my most memorable streams, I had a lot of fun with it, was actually playing through. Like, I saw this game. I think I picked it for like our Hollow Week stuff that I always do.
That's great, yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Let's play through this. And I thought it was going to be like, I played it for 2 or 3 hours. That's what I was going to do. We ended up playing for like 5 hours and beat the game on stream. And it was great the entire time. This was a short game, but very fun. Almost like a very spooky, challenging. Oh yeah, look at the creepy woman.
No.
Inside or something like that. It looks like this one has co-op, so you'll be able to play with somebody else. There's a hand crawl on the floor. Dude, this game is awesome. If you haven't played the first Little Nightmares, play it. It's good.
I have a question. Okay, so here's my question. So I formerly really loved scary stuff. You know, self-proclaimed super fan. Like, I love Lovecraft. I'm listening to the Dunwich Horror right now. Okay. Like, I was listening to it today. I love horror. However, there's certain brands of horror that are very unsettling to me. And this...
Here you go. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, like there are some things that really are off-putting to me. So this game is $4 on PSN right now. Do you think that like Outlast I did not like. I don't like the idea of like
okay, yeah.
I don't like the idea of like if it's like Limbo, where Limbo it's more of a puzzle game than it is like a hide and seek game. Mm-hmm. That's okay with me. What I don't like are games where it's just like hide and seek, where it's like Dead by Daylight, or let's say, like Amnesia, Outlast. All those games are pretty much just like, hide from the AI, right? What is Little Nightmare on that spectrum? Is it more of like a Limbo puzzle game that's spooky, or is it more of
like a little bit of both. So you're going to have puzzles when you don't have the enemies there, but then you are going to have like in the plane of Outcast, when you do the hide and seek stuff, it's really just like hide away from the person and then beeline it to the exit. And in Little Nightmares, you have some of that, but there's more puzzling involved. So it might be like hide from this person, let them walk around, and then go hit this switch, then hide them back, and try and navigate back so you can open the door without them chasing you or finding you. Or maybe you have to be in a room and you have to hide from them while you're trying to find like some items that you need in order to get to the next zone there. But I would not say that it's either or.
Okay.
It's very much a split of both. It's not as, definitely not as gory. Honestly, it's not even gory at all. It's more just like an ambiance stuff. Like, of course, like you're this little kid and you have these adults and they're trying to eat you, but it's not like you don't see like somebody get ripped apart and like blood spatters on the screen.
Okay, that's good, because that's one of the things I don't really do well is gore.
I think like if you like scary, ominous games, it is worth the price of
admission. It's worth $4.
Yes, play Little Nightmares. It's real good. I'm super excited for Little Nightmares 2.
Good to know.
WWE 2K Battlegrounds gameplay got a trailer. Awesome.
Honestly, I low-key want this one to do really well, just because the simulation thing. Honestly, Cameron, whatever quantum pathway we need to take to get No Mercy back is what I want. I just want WWE No Mercy. I don't even know where they left off. Just, start going with years, right? Like, make it that fun, arcadey, not like Gundam SD like they're going here, right? Like, I want you to bring it a little bit more to G Gundam, where it's just ridiculousness, but not in like whatever those body styles they're going with are. Okay. Well, amiibo-looking wrestlers. But
the next game that got announced is, boy howdy, is right up your alley, Seth, here. The Star Wars Squadrons campaign gameplay trailer got revealed here, showing a little bit of Princess Leia and the TIE fighters attacking enemy outpost. How, on your hype level, how hype are you for this game?
Maximum. I cannot wait to get my hands on Star Wars Squadrons. I am already arranging my squad with my friends on Xbox. We are going to be playing this game. We're going to be playing this game a lot. It is looking really good. I'm liking the they've talked a little bit about like you're going to be doing the diverting power from like your engines to your shields and from your shields to your weapon. Like there's that kind of stuff looks really neat. I like the momentum based dogfight gameplay. So like you turn your engines off and you can kind of like turn on a dime and then reignite your engines and do some of those really cool Star Wars maneuvers. Yeah, there's awesome. A lot of cool stuff. And honestly, I'm excited about a campaign. Like Battlefront 2 had that campaign with Iden Verso. It was an interesting exploration in storytelling. Mm-hmm. I think that it let a lot of people down because it was marketed as this like see it from the Empire's point of view, but 2 missions in, you switch to the Rebellion and like you're basically, it's not you're no longer with the Empire. So if they're kind of implying that there's like either two campaigns or like the campaign weaves in and out of like you're playing as the Empire trying to pick up the pieces after the fall of the Emperor and the Battle of Endor, and then you switch over to the Republic, or the New Republic as they're called now, trying to basically, get the galaxy in order after the, oh shit, we won, now what? kind of thing. I want you to know, Cameron, that if Grand Admiral Thrawn is anywhere in this, canonically he's dead. I know in Star Wars Rebels, he is either killed or, it's kind of left ambiguous, but like he's kind of written out in a way that means that he probably died before Empire Strikes Back. But I want you to know that if you're a rebel pilot and then all of a sudden like 8 Star Destroyers come out of hyperspace and just annihilate the ship that you're flying toward, and the hologram comes up, I am Grand Admiral Thrawn, and you are ordered to surrender at once and prepare for boarding. Like, if I would transcend. I would SpongeBob float and transcend to another realm.
I want to see that now. If you're gonna do that, that'd be awesome.
Just look at that the one with SpongeBob floating with the AirPods in. Just look up SpongeBob float meme, and you'll see what I would have become. So
okay. Ooh, man, I actually am shocked that there are so many announcements here. So we're going to do rapid fire here. Seth,
sure,
you stop me. Anything that we need to talk about, you stop me as I'm rapid firing through here.
Got it.
So next up, we had 12 Minutes, the game that's coming to Xbox and PC that I'm really excited for. The voice
got a lot of star power.
Yeah, James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, and Willem Dafoe will be the voice actors for the game, which is a pretty big deal. Warframe got a new expansion, Heart of Demos, arriving on all platforms.
Heard that game is good.
I need to play that game too. Override 2 Super Mech League was announced. It's a robot brawler.
Looks like Metabots. I'm giving you my one sentence. I'm giving you my one sentence summaries of everything. Looks like Metabots.
The Sims 4 Journey to Batu expansion is arriving soon. This is very interesting. So they're adding Star Wars content into The Sims.
I'm switching to becoming a Sim streamer. I'm a Sim streamer now.
This is I did like the Sims 4 is getting a new Star Wars expansion called Journey to Batu that will arrive on September 8th for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Rey and other familiar faces from the latest Star Wars films can be seen as main characters within the trailer. That is pretty cool. And
it's neat.
EA using that Star Wars license as much as they possibly can. Like that is that looks cool. That looks dope. I'd be into that. Next up, Mafia Definitive Edition got a story trailer reveal. Mafia 3 was good. I might have to try the first 2 whenever that complete edition comes out, if it's not already.
Gangsters. It's the game. Gangsters.
Gangsters the game. Lemnis Gate was announced. This is the first-person shooter meets turn-based strategy game. Was announced for PS4, Xbox One, and PC for 2021. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga was revealed, had a trailer, and then told it was going to be delayed into 2021. I know this probably hurt you a fair bit.
It did. Like they said originally October 2020 was the release date, and considering they had not showed anything about that game in so long, I figured it was probably delayed. But I need us to stop for a moment. I need you to look up the Lego Star Wars Collector's Edition, Skywalker Saga Collector's Edition.
Okay. What's in it?
It is legendary. And it is also a nexus for all of my next gen stress right now. Because while he's looking it up, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what's in it. Are you finding it? You need to find the GIF that I'm talking about, the slipcover GIF.
Lego Star Wars Ultimate Collector Series. Nope. Ultimate Collector's Edition.
Star Wars. Remember the Skywalker saga.
Yeah. I was like, I'm missing a keyword here that I've got to add in here.
Yeah.
Okay, Deluxe Edition.
Yes. So, if you can see the GIF of the slipcover, that's the big one. In fact,
this is the deluxe version of the game. With oh my god.
Yes. All right. So let me explain this while you cue it up. So it comes with the game. It comes with the game. And then it also includes if you watch the trailer, there's a scene where Luke Skywalker drinks like a carton of blue milk and he has like a blue milk mustache. So there's a minifigure that includes that. Again, Lego superfan here. Those minifigures end up being worth a ton of money. Those are very, very hard to get after a couple of years, right? And they become collector's items very quickly. But the big winner here is the slipcover. So the cover of this, can you show it? Do you have it queued up?
I can queue it up. Yeah, hold on.
And in fact, if you need, I will send you the Star Wars.
Got it.
Actually, oh, you got it. Okay, so look at this shit. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Is that the best damn slipcover that has ever been made?
That was pretty cool.
It is so cool looking. And yeah, if you scroll down, yeah, you found the page I was going to send you. So like you can kind of see the little picture of the minifigure. And it's coming with the character packs. I think they've confirmed Rogue One. They've confirmed 2 Mandalorian packs. So stuff outside of the Skywalker saga is going to be included. I think a solo pack and something called a classic pack, which I think is probably going to be some of the old school designs for the characters, where they're the kind of more plain looking Legos. So I'm ready, dude. The problem is this is a physical copy. And so, if I get that digital PlayStation,
let's see.
Anyways,
let's actually see if it says anything on the website about digital.
I read that whole interview, and they said it's all physical. Like,
gotta pay.
It's real. I think it really threw people when they announced a digital only version. And what's crazy is like now, like Ubisoft has said, like their future Xbox collectors will be digital codes, but PS5 will still be physical. And I'm sure that is a demographic. I think that there are more people who prefer prefer physical on PlayStation. Again, it's their entire coup de grace was based around physical games. So it makes sense that people would be scared of it, but it's really problematic for people who are trying to make purchase decisions because if the price difference in a disc drive and no disc drive is $50, then I'm going to get the disc drive so I can play Star Wars. If it's $100, then
now that's when you have to start trying to make decisions here.
Yeah, it just kind of sucks that I'm in that situation, but I digress. Yep. I know you needed to continue.
No, we're good. We're good. Like I said, anything we need to talk about, stop me.
This game looks amazing. This game looks amazing. It's over the shoulder, like they showed a little bit of gameplay. It's got the goofy Lego humor. They started using audio clips from the movies in the dialogue. I really loved the older Lego games where they didn't have any dialogue at all.
Okay.
It was, and they still do a good job making it funny, but it's just it was so interesting. Those original Lego Star Wars games didn't have movie dialogue. It was all about the comedy of like the moment. And so it's going to be interesting to see how they strike that balance. But this is looks like an evolution of that Lego formula that's really cool and interesting. So
next game shown off was a game called Struggling.
I hate the look of this game.
Chasing Rat Games revealed the Struggling launch trailer, which showed off a physics-based co-op platformer where players need to work together to control the arms of a strange, meaty creature. It looks weird. It looks real weird.
Just play Carrion.
Yeah, actually do play that. It's good. Next up, first Chorus gameplay revealed. The dark dogfighting space game Chorus got its first gameplay trailer. This was the game that was announced at Xbox's one of their gameplay reveals. I think was it the July one? or the June one? I can't remember which one.
I think it was that they didn't do the June one. They did a one in May, and I think they talked about it there, or it might have been last year's E3.
That's right.
Was it?
No, it was May. It was because I remember this
May,
is one of the games here. It looks really cool. Was really excited to see that here. Next up, because of course we talked about it already. Fall Guys Season 2. We got a sneak peek at. I'm skipping through the stream here. We got a sneak peek at what Season 2 is going to hold for Fall Guys. Basically, it's the medieval version of Fall Guys here. We got new rounds, new maps, new skins. Basically, like you can be a dragon, mage, wizard. You're a wizard.
You're a wizard.
And all sorts of stuff here. I'm sure now that you've played Fall Guys, Seth, that this probably got you pumped up.
The game, the new mini games look really fun. Like there's a stacking, like you have to work collaboratively to like stack and build like platforms to travel upward. All those costumes look great. Yes, more. Like right here, like look at that. That is
that's going to be tricky.
What I need from this game. That is what I need. I need stupid jelly bean garbage people doing stupid jelly bean garbage tasks, and this is exactly that. So
it's going to be fun. It looks good. It looks real good. Next up, Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition got a release date announced. Will release on October 15th for PC via Steam and the Microsoft Store.
Yeah, this was... I wasn't surprised. I really thought they would probably... Like, 2 was a big deal. Like, Age of Empires 2, legendary RTS game. 3 really wasn't received as... it was not played as much as 2 was. 2 was still... Kind of think of it like the difference between like Warcraft 3 and Warcraft 2. 3 was the dominant, like it took over the world. It was it invented Dota, like it was the legacy game. But 2 was kind of the one that a lot of people remember fondly. It's kind of the flip flop of that, right? Like Age of Empires 3 is one people remember fondly, but 2 was the real winner there. So it makes sense. 4 is they announced 4. They're working on 4. Age of Empires 4 will be a big deal. But
we'll see whenever it gets announced and gets closer to that release date. Next up here, Wastelanders 3 got a Liberty character trailer. That game is out actually right now, so you can actually
out now on Game Pass. Yep.
Have you had a chance to play it?
No, I have not. I have it installed, but I had to choose between that and Fall Guys, and I think you can tell which direction I went.
Made the right choice. A trailer that I was actually surprised that was really cool was the next announcement here. Medal of Honor Above and Beyond got a story trailer. This is a new story trailer for the VR game based on the Medal of Honor franchise. This was really cool. I was really impressed. It looks really neat, really cool. Definitely worth checking out. Spellbreak got a release date. It will officially launch on September 3rd with crossplay for PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, which is always good.
Yeah.
Turrican Anthology is in development. We got a behind-the-scenes look at Factor 5, who is currently working on the Turin Anthology. I don't know. Turrican, I don't know what that means.
That is an old game. Factor 5, if I remember correctly, I think they're the ones that did Rogue Squadron.
Ooh, okay.
I didn't think they were still around. Yeah, they did Rogue Squadron. So they, other games, Lair for PlayStation 3, I think that was their last game before they went under. And so it looks like they're kind of, but yeah, Turrican 1990 original release.
Ooh, boy.
Came out for, came out for the Amiga OS, Commodore CD-TV, and the Commodore 64 Atari ST. So that
pretty old.
Pretty old game.
Next up is Destiny 2 Beyond Light. Got an Element Stasis trailer that was shown off, showcasing the new powers coming to the latest expansion for Destiny 2. Had a couple of friends. Will, CT Gamer, previous co-host here, he is jumping back into some Destiny 2. I'm kind of, and it happens all the time around the period where an expansion comes out. I'm kind of getting the itch again to play, especially if you've got some people to play with. What's your read on this, Seth?
So this was really cool because they talked about this new darkness power, but they haven't really showed what it does. But now they showed the subclasses that are coming. so you can kind of see how it's going to affect your gameplay.
That's good.
I'm very into this. I want it to come out. That is what I want. I don't want to see trailers for this. I want to be.
November.
I want to do. Look, see this man? He's got the spinny sides. I want to do. Actually, I won't do that because Warlock is best, baby.
Yes, he gets it. Get the shade binder. Get the staff. Fireball.
That's it.
Or
look, Captain America 2. Great, awesome. You know what?
He freezes his fist. To punch people. So
it's
tight.
Warlock is best. Warlock is best. But yeah, I mean, it's Destiny 2. That game's coming to Game Pass, remember? That new expansion is coming to Game Pass, as well as all the other expansions. Destiny, listen, while every other game becomes Destiny, Destiny continues to be Destiny. So just bear that in mind as we move into the future. But I'm pretty intrigued by, like, and this makes perfect sense because Phil Spencer plays a shit ton of Destiny. So, of course, he's going to do what he can to make... He's like you're going to make your... Like, imagine if you were the guy who ran Xbox, you'd probably make sure that your favorite game ran pretty well on the box, right? Like, that's... Yeah, it's great. I would love it. Yeah, as Call of Duty aligns themselves with PlayStation, I think it makes perfect sense for Destiny to double down with Xbox and really go for that audience over on Xbox, especially since Halo's been delayed. That'll be what carries next gen.
Good point.
For a lot of people, I think.
Yeah. And then the final announcement of the opening night live showcase is Ratchet and Clank. Rift Apart? Yeah, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart PS5 gameplay was shown, and surprisingly, it is confirmed as a launch window game. So for people who don't know, launch window is kind of like it may not be at launch. It'll probably be within the first 3 to 6 months period of the console officially being launched. Here, I'm trying to actually queue up some. It more or less, from what I saw, it was kind of an extended version of the trailer that was shown at the PS5 event a month or two ago.
Well, like the PS5 event was like a edited version of this. I think this was like the raw gameplay of that.
And it looks good.
It looks. I mean, this game looks great, man. I'm interested. Are we going to talk a little bit about the different modes for this, the graphical modes?
I don't know, but if you know that knowledge, please.
Yes. So part of this, they released some information about how this is going to work. So on PlayStation 5, this is going to have 2 different modes. One will be performance mode. One will be in resolution mode, and they're targeting 4K 30 frames per second on PlayStation 5 in resolution mode, and then 60 frames per second with, variable resolution in that performance mode. It shocked me because my impression was that next gen was going to do away with that, but apparently not. And it honestly made me, because this game looks amazing, but in order to hit 4K, they're having to scale it to 30 frames per second. It makes me wonder if Halo looked that way so they could get 4K 60, right? Like it's really unfortunate to see that out of the gate, the games are already making us decide.
Yeah, it makes me think if that might be one of the trade-offs with ray tracing, because I know that I've got a 2080 Ti in my gaming PC, and like playing Control, like I can turn on ray tracing and the game looks great, but I can definitely see a dip in performance on the frames. So I'm curious if Insomniac, that's something they had to basically balance out. Is like, I mean, look, you got freaking a Clank looking like that the whole game, and you're seeing those ray traces throughout the game. If maybe because of that, they had to throttle it down to 30 frames per second.
I think if you ask most gamers if they would choose between ray tracing and 60 frames 4K, over 80% would say they take 60 frames 4K. I think ray tracing is in that same category that VR and 3D. It's really cool. It's awesome. It's fun to show people. It's cool to see the before and afters. Yeah. But I was really hoping that next gen would get away from putting the burden of choice on me. Now I'm like, okay, well, do I want to play this game on my 4K TV at a sub 4K resolution so that I don't drop frames? Or, it kind of sucks like that my $500 to $600 box is not going to be able to do what.
Well, and I think at least for me, I think the thing that this specific game has going for it is that it's kind of a platformer in a lot of the sense. And I think in that case, me personally, I'm like 30 frames. Okay, I'll be fine with that. If this were like a more of a competitive shooter, a la Call of Duty or something like that, I think that's where I would kind of be like, I kind of want the 60 frames. But I think
what happens when Call of Duty does that? Like,
good point.
Like I really hope that that developers don't look at next gen and they're like, oh, this means we can make the graphics look even better. But then they're dealing with the same broken games launching, like graphical issues. I would rather the games, and I honestly, I think this is probably, like, you look at how Halo Infinite looked. People said it didn't look next gen, but that game had ray tracing, 4K, 60 frames per second. Like, that's what they were shooting for. And if that game had launched with that, I think that it would be pretty awesome. I don't think that's going to happen at this point because people are showing that it sucks, but like people just want fancier graphics. And even though we're getting more powerful machines that could render things faster and better, they're like, nah, don't use that power for that. Use it to make more,
I think the big thing, I think the big thing is that it's because it's the start of the generation. That's everybody wants at the start of the generation. You want the game or the thing that you can show to your friends and like, this is why you need to go next gen. This is why I got my PlayStation or my Xbox, because look how pretty this looks. But I also think that as we move further down past the start point is where eventually within a couple of months or a year, we're going to start like, okay, we've gotten the new shininess off of our new box.
Yeah.
Now let's start pushing this. Like, let's push its limits. Like, let's get the 4K 60.
This game looks great, though. It looks great. It looks fun. I can't wait to get my hands on Ratchet and Clank.
I'm super excited. Ratchet and Clank is like the 2016 one was always a fan favorite of mine. I jumped in, got it, and I love it. And so I'm really excited for the next game. But that's where Gamescom ended their night with that game here, and now we get to talk about the quick question before we wrap up the show here. So, Gamescom, in my opinion, from what I saw and heard about the opening night live thing, from a technical standpoint of them having to put on a show, especially during COVID, it did pretty well. And I'm curious if we think, could this be another dagger in the stomach for E3, or does this really not phase E3 at all? We still, E3's like, yeah, you guys are fine, you did fine, wait till 2021.
That's a really, sorry.
No, what do you think?
That's a really interesting question. I think that Gamescom's always been by an exorbitant amount bigger than E3, right? More people. It is a public convention, and E3's working toward it, but nowhere near the numbers that Gamescom pulls in.
Yeah, agreed.
We're not going to bust out data and charts, but the reality is that a majority of game purchases take place in the United States. More money comes from the U.S. in the gaming industry, and I think mobile probably skews that to be more like China or someplace, but like when you look at these kinds of games, right, like console games, they make more money. And so if this year's taught a lot of people anything, I've been feeling this, I've been hearing people talk about this, I think E3 is going to come back bigger than ever next year. I think people miss the excitement that E3 brings. What I think, when I say E3, I don't necessarily think that I mean entirely the E3 show. I think that EA will continue to do EA Play. I wouldn't be surprised if Ubisoft starts to do their own thing. Ubisoft Connect to be like a separate event. But I think that idea of bringing everything into one big place was more preferable to what we've gotten here, which is this drip feed of, honestly, like, a lot of these events have just been real stinkers because it's people just trying to get whatever they can to make their own E3, right? Like IGN was pushing with Summer of Gaming. Yeah. And, obviously their sales team is, drooling at the mouth because they can sell ads. Oh, this is sponsored by Geico, sponsored by Red Bull. Like, they love that kind of shit. And that's how the sports industry is run, right? Like, you think about, sports is you have Sports Center every night that covers what happened. It's like that's That industry is built on multiple events all year round, whereas E3 has generally been like all of our big announcements are happening right here and there. And I think people have missed that this year. Does Gamescom replace E3? No, I don't think so.
And I'll agree with you on that, because I think that, this was supposed to be the last nail for Jeff Keighley's kind of phase one for the Summer of Gaming event that he was doing, or the Summer Game Fest event that he was doing, I'm sorry. And this whole summer, I just felt, I was hoping like, man, this could be the replacement for E3. And it really wasn't. And I really think it was just, I don't want to be harsh and say that, like, say the words waste of time, but it just felt like all it was like a public calendar that you and your friends just put your various events on throughout the summer. And that was cool and all, but I think the big thing that was missing was the one place, like this one hub that you could tell anybody, go here and that's where you're going to find all your news. And E3 has always been that hub. Like in all the industry people were there, whether you were IGN or GameSpot or anything like that, you were at E3. And so really, if you just followed the main E3 feed, you were good. You were doing fine. And I think that Gamescom showed, I think from a digital standpoint, how you can do a digital event. But I think E3 is missed purely based on the fact of having like the one hub to rule them all, and to go and get your gaming news through the summer. And I honestly, I think that if it had been better executed this summer, it would have put E3 in more of a bind. But I think that coming out of this, I think, like myself included, like more people are kind of missing E3 and missing that like one point that I can go in and check all this stuff and get all the information and do all my stuff.
Like think about this year. E3 would have been the PlayStation reveal, the Xbox reveal, possibly another here's how you trade games moment, right? Like a complete ground-shattering, earth-changing event. You would have had, I don't know that Call of Duty would have showed up. I think Activision's pretty well pulled out. Sony's pretty well pulled out. But you would have had all of the stuff from the past 3 months compacted into one announcement. And that would have been really cool. I think there's a middle ground somewhere. I've said for years, I think that E3 needs to take the BlizzCon approach and make that thing digital for everyone to participate in, right? They need to... I should be able to watch all the panels. I should be able to see the behind closed doors demos. Those should be... blow the doors open. Like, it is stupid that it is a... Yeah, like people would pay you $40, $50, $60, $70 to be able to watch Cyberpunk gameplay last year, right? Like, people would have done it, right? And yes, I know gamers are going to be, oh, it didn't look great. Like, but at the end of the day, all you're doing now is you're letting journalists do it, and then they're giving us a 45-minute play-by-play on a podcast. Like, it's just make the thing digital and make it something where people who don't just live in LA, who don't just live in San Francisco, who don't just live in New York, make it like, because those are very small populations of the rest of the country, right? Like, there are 50 states full of gamers. There are 3 billion people on planet Earth that play video games, and they all look at E3 for those announcements. Yeah. Not all, but, E3 is where it happens. Yeah. A lot of them do. And it just sucks that E3 is going down this path of like, let's get this basketball player playing basketball games, and let's get this esports dude on stage talking about how great Mountain Dew is. Like, that's not the direction to take E3. And that's why people have wanted something new, because we didn't like that direction. Now, if they come back next year and say E3's back, it's bigger than ever. All the events you love are going to still be, free, but we've got tons of behind closed doors demos that are going to be for premium subscribers or, Twitch sub or whatever you want to do, whatever deal you want to sign to make that happen. I think people would come and show up for that. Give us some emotes, right? Like, play the modern game, not the how did we sell video games in 1998? Oh, well, why can't we do that again, right? Like, I just really want to see evolution. I think everybody wants to see evolution. Now, I don't think Gamescom replaces it. It's a little too late in the year. You can't really... Like, everything would leak. Like, everything already leaks for E3, right? Like, imagine if you had another 2 months for leakers to just, like, funnel all the leaks out.
True.
So it's difficult to say it replaces it, but Gamescom has always been that checkpoint where we get gameplay for stuff, right? Stuff that was shown at E3, we get the demos for. We get the interviews for, hey, this thing is coming in a month, in 2 months. Like, I've always considered Gamescom the end of the news cycle for games that year, and the beginning of the launch cycle, because, you know, September is always when shit's dropping, right? And so that's kind of what I see it as. I think Opening Night Live was one of the best produced events. I really liked their approach to the, you know, they did the CGI or the CG room, but it didn't come off as crappy like DC Fandom did. No low-res webcam footage, right? It was all really well produced.
Yeah.
I think there were some pacing issues just because they, you know, we talked about Bridge Simulator. We talked about Surgeon Simulator. You know, those games, or sorry, Bridge Constructor and Surgeon Simulator, kind of misses on going for the laugh there. But all in all, I think this format works. It just needs to be where big things are happening, right? Like, I would say the two biggest events this year were run by Sony and Microsoft, not by Summer Games Fest or IG and Summer of Games or even E3. You know, if they had been there, if, you know, Sony's already pulled out of E3, they're probably never going back unless they need it. I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft starts to do this side event. You know, they're always like, oh, we're in the theater next door. But, like, that's what people are there to see for the most part. Everything else is kind of a icing on the cake. But I'm really excited for next year. I'm interested for next year. And I say this because a lot of games have been delayed into next year. And so next year's going to be a really heavy year. It's the first year of a console.
Yeah.
Lots of delayed games coming into it. We're going to go through some severe growing pains around digital and physical and cross-generation purchases and upgrades. Next year's going to be insane, dude. It's going to be wild.
You've got a good point on that. 100%.
So
we'll definitely see, guys. What did you guys think about Gamescom 2020 this year? How did you like the announcements, the presentation of the show? Let us know over on our social media channels. I am, of course, at Rocket Punch Go. You can chat to Seth over there at Darth Turner over on Twitter. I think we're the same on Instagram, too. So
yes, I am also planning a very fun stream this week. I have purchased a new piece of equipment that is going to allow me to do this kind of stream. So I'm giving you a little hint. But I would check in around Wednesday or Thursday. So twitch.tv/Darth Turner. You can check me out, and I've got a pretty fun stream lined up.
Do it. Just follow him on Twitter, and then you'll know when he goes live.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter. You'll get the notification.
Makes it easy. But guys, that is it for episode 20 of the Rocket Punch Show. We've got some other stuff to record, so we won't be doing a post show this evening, but we'll make it up to you next week, I promise. Actually, and it's actually worth saying as well, Seth, you're going to be taking a little vacation time starting next week.
I am taking a little vacation time. So next week, let's see. I do not know if I'm going to be here. Actually, no, I won't, because it's my birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday!
So I will be out that day.
Yep.
But I promise everyone, and I'll be out the week after that too. Okay. September 20th, first off, I have a great post-show thing to talk about.
Ooh, okay, I'm excited.
Second off, if there's no price and release date for those fuckers by the 20th, I am going to scream.
Please do it. I hope that's the first thing that we hear when I start the recording for.
I will. 20th. I don't know how I'll do this because I need the webcam to stream, but I will eat my webcam.
I have an extra one.
Part.
I've got an extra one around.
Yeah, bring it over. If we don't have the date and price of those little shit boxes that we have been wanting to know about forever, by the 20th, I will eat. I'm not going to actually eat a webcam. I would die, but
you heard it here first, folks. He's going to eat a webcam. No, so
I'm out for 2 weeks.
Seth is out for the next 2 weeks, but I've already got some special guests lined up for those 2 episodes here. So stay tuned, get a little excited because they're pretty dope, and I'm pretty excited to get a chance to sit down and talk with them. But be on the lookout next week. It's going to be the next week and the week after that. We'll have some special guests on the show. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for listening in to the show. We thank you very much for your continued support. Remember to go to rocketpunchgo.com to check out all of the content. And other than that, good night, guys, and good game.